Hi guys and girls! This week is all about phenomenal plants in the STEM lab, the virtual STEM lab. And so we're going to start out today with the very beginning of the plant life cycle, and we're going to talk about some seeds and how seeds turn into plants. So I've been soaking some seeds in warm water for about a day, and if you notice, I don't know, it's hard to see because it's not in focus, but they're very wrinkly and bumpy. They didn't start out that way. They were nice and smooth. But what's happened is water has gotten up inside underneath the skin of the seed, if you will, and it started to make it wrinkly. So I'm going to use a little tiny knife and very, very carefully, don't try this at home without an adult, have the adult do this part, open up the bean seed. So here we go. We're just going to slice very carefully. See if that did it. Okay, so that outer shell of the bean seed has peeling away. Okay. And the reason why you soak these is to soften them up a little bit to make this part easier so you don't hurt what's inside the seed. Okay, we're going to take another little cut. Oh, there we go. Okay. So if we were to cut the seed in half, you would see it looks kind of like a peanut on the inside. And that's kind of what this is. This big round part is all starchy stuff, kind of like what you would think of like a potato. And that's going to be the food for the bean plant. And if you look, this tiny little whitish looking thing right there doesn't look like much now. I'll post a better picture of it later. But that's actually a baby bean plant. And it's living inside that seed, kind of like it's sleeping, for as long as that seed just lays there. And once that seed gets some water and some sunlight, then the magic starts to happen, and that little tiny baby seed, that little tiny baby plant, starts to grow. And that's what we call germination. So today what we're going to do is we're going to set up some experiments with germination. And to do that, I've gotten some plastic bags ready, and I drew like a tic-tac-toe board on it so we can count 9 seeds. And I have some paper towels that are folded, sitting in a bucket of water. And I have some different types of seeds that we're going to try planting today. So for our experiment, we're going to use bean seeds, just like the one we just dissected, and pea seeds, because I love peas. And then we're also going to use radish seeds, which you don't have to soak in water. They're very, very tiny, and so we don't want to soak those in water. They would just get mushy. So the first thing I'm going to do is very carefully take one of my paper towels. I folded one paper towel into 4th, and I soaked them. And then what I'm going to do is just kind of squeeze the water out so it's not dripping wet. We don't want them too wet. We just want them a little damp. And I'm going to very carefully slide it into the bag, trying to keep it flat. All right. So once I have that in the bag, and it's not so easy to do when you have a plastic bag that's dry and a paper towel that's wet, they don't want to go in there so easy. You gotta kind of wiggle it in there. Oh, we're about to have a special cat guest here maybe. Okay, so now I have my paper towel inside my bag, and you can see that there's a space or paper towel in each of the 9 spaces on the grid that I made. And that's to help us count how many of our seeds germinate. So then I'm going to take my bean seeds first, and I'm going to take them out of the bag and put 1 in each square. Just 1. I'm just going to lay them on their side. So I have to kind of roll them a little bit maybe to get them to go where I want them to go. All right. Whoops. That one almost got away. 8, 9. And then I'm going to seal up that Ziploc bag. And you can see now we have 9 bean seeds, 1 of each of the squares. So I'm going to do the same thing for the peas and for the radishes now. So I will tilt the camera so you can see me putting the seeds in this time. Squeeze out my paper towel so it's not too wet. Okay. Now I'm gonna see if I learned my lesson the last time. Slide that paper towel into the bag. This would be so much more fun if you could do it. If we could do this together in the lab. Ah. All right. Now, I'm gonna tilt that camera a little bit at least so you can see what I'm doing here. Whoops, there we go. This time I'm gonna use peas. We're gonna see how these guys do. It's a little late in the season here in North Carolina to be planting peas from seed, but it's been such a nice spring. I figured we'd give it a try. It hasn't gotten too hot. Peas don't like it hot. They like it nice and cool. And you'll notice when I'm putting these peas in the bag that some of them are green and some of them are yellow. And that's what happens with pea seeds. They can be different colors. They're not all the same. All right. So the peas cooperated much better. And I'm going to zip them up. And then later, I'm going to do the same thing with the radishes. And we're going to leave these guys flat on the table, just like this. I'm going to put them in a sunnier spot than here on my table out here. Not underneath the cover of the roof. So that way they get some sunshine. And I'll do the same thing with the radishes later, and we'll check in on them the rest of this week and see how they're doing. The other thing that I'm going to start, and I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do, is I'm going to make a little mini nursery to start some seeds to put out in the garden using egg cartons. So I've saved some egg cartons, and we know that plants need water and they need soil or some kind of nutrient, and they need sunlight, but we don't want them to have too much water. So what I'm going to do is I have this screwdriver, and I'm just using whatever I have around the house. No fancy tools, no fancy pots that I'm using. And I'm just going to poke a hole in the bottom of each one of these egg carton slots. There you go. And that way, if I water them too much, the extra water will drain out and it won't drown the little baby plants. So then, once again, no fancy stuff. I went and dug up some soil from the garden, from my garden here at my house. And there's all sorts of weird stuff in this soil, like decomposing pieces of pine branches and leaf bits and probably some bugs in here too. I'm not worried about it. Ooh, that's a big leaf. We don't need that guy. He's too big. He'll be bigger than our seedlings. And I'm just going to spread my soily mixture so that I'm putting some in each of the egg carton slots. And yeah, I'm going to get my fingers dirty. Alright, some of these big pine needles got to go. They're too big. Alright. Okie dokie. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one row each of different vegetables that we're going to plant in the garden. And I'm hoping that these veggies will get nice and strong and I can bring them up to school and plant them there. So we'll start out again with our beans and our peas. And I'm just going to put one little seed in each of the holes of my egg carton. So here we go. My beans are going to be the front row. Here we go. So I'm just going to press that little bean down in there and cover it up. Press the little bean seed down in there and cover it up. Press the little bean seed down in there. Can you see what I'm doing? I know this is kind of hard, guys. It's hard for me too. I can't see what you're seeing. Press it down in there, cover it up. And I'm going to keep going with peas. And I also have out here tomatoes. And then we'll do peppers as well. So all the kind of things that we grow out in the garden at school we'll have started here at my house, and hopefully they'll get nice and big and strong and we can plant them at school. So we'll check in on these for the rest of the week. Oh, Casey the cat is already checking in on them. She wants to know what's up. Anyhow, so I hope you could see some at least of what we're doing here. I'll try better with my camera tomorrow's experiment. Get ready for tomorrow. It's gonna be fun, something different. Until then, I hope you enjoyed our setting up some seeds to germinate, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.